Hello, everybody. Happy Wednesday. Today we're going to look at 2 Corinthians 3, verse 18. This is a great verse. This is an important verse for us kind of to have a picture of how we're supposed to live our life as Christians. While we're here on earth, once we've put our faith and trust in Jesus, what do we do with the rest of the time He gives us on earth? What's our goal? And that's some of what's summarized here in this verse. So 2 Corinthians 3:18, this is what it says. It says, "And we, who with unveiled faces all reflect the Lord's glory, are being transformed into His likeness with an ever-increasing glory, which comes from the Lord, who is the Spirit." And the part I kind of want us to focus on today is reflect the Lord's glory. That's our purpose. That's our goal. While we're here on earth, this is what we're supposed to do. We who follow Jesus are supposed to reflect His glory. We're supposed to be, I'll say it like this, we're supposed to be mirrors of Jesus. That's the image that we're given here in 2 Corinthians 3:18. You've probably heard it different ways. Like we'll talk about, since Jesus is in heaven and we're here on earth, we're supposed to be His hands and His feet. Or I like the idea that we're supposed to be Jesus with skin on, so that when other people see us and encounter us or hug us, that they can't hug Jesus, but they can hug me, so we can be Jesus with skin on. Or that idea that we would ask whenever we're faced with another situation, we ask in any given situation, what would Jesus do? The old WWJD bracelets. What would Jesus do? That's all kind of captured in this idea that we're supposed to be reflecting the Lord's glory, that the Lord is glorious, that Jesus is the ultimate example of character and integrity and how to live your life. He's the sinless example par none of humanity, and so His glory, His example should be our example, what we aspire to, what we follow, what we want to reflect. And so as far as our goals for this life, as far as our purpose as Christians, as long as we remain in this world, we want to be mirrors of Jesus. So how do we do that? Well, we're being transformed into His likeness. So that's this idea that Paul is saying here, hey, look, if you're a Christian, then this is what's already happening to you. You are being transformed into the likeness of Jesus. The Greek word that stands behind that is the word morph. So I need to talk about, early 2000s or so, this phenomenon was sort of grabbing 6 to 8-year-old boys all over the U.S. This idea of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, a TV show that came from Japan, kind of a weirdly lit, kind of herky-jerky special effects sort of thing. My boys came along just a little too late to really ride the wave of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. I saw just enough to know, it didn't seem like there was much of a plot, didn't seem like it was always well written, but there's this idea of these normal teenagers who, when needs arose, they were able to tap into this mystical power and they would say, it's morphin' time, and they would transform into these martial arts specialists for justice. They're colorful ninja suits, their space age helmets, and they would take on the bad guys. That whole idea of morphing became a part of our popular culture. And so that word morph, actually, it's an old Greek word, morpheo, that has to do with formation, being formed. The initial word, we can find it in, say, Galatians 4:19. Paul says, "My dear children, for whom I'm again in the pains of childbirth until Christ is formed in you." So that idea, almost like an embryo being developed within the mother's womb, Paul saw it as his mission to call out or call into the lives of the people who listen to him, the formation of Christ. So that's the idea. That the word's also used in compound words in Greek. So there's somorphizo, which would be sort of to be formed with or to be like. This is the word behind Romans 8:29. For those God foreknew, He also predestined to be conformed to the image of His Son. So again, here the same idea that Christ is being formed in us. We're being shaped to be like Jesus. Or a word you'll probably recognize, metamorpheo, or metamorphosis. That's a word that makes it into English, the idea of transformation, the idea of a caterpillar that goes into the cocoon and then comes out as something different, transformed, the butterfly, a whole new creature almost. And so metamorpho is actually the word in our verse, 2 Corinthians 3:18. So we are being transformed into the likeness of Jesus. This idea that we're supposed to reflect Jesus happens as we are being changed by the Lord who is the Spirit. We are being transformed to be more like Him. So more than just going into a situation and asking ourselves, well, what would Jesus do? And then trying to put on our best Jesus imitation, the idea of being transformed into Jesus means that it becomes natural for us to do what Jesus would do. The more we become like Him, the more we reflect who He is, not His physical appearance, not getting beards like we imagine Jesus, not wearing robes and sandals, but in His character, in His integrity, in His heart for the world. The more we're transformed to be like Him, the more natural it becomes to do the things He would do. John Ortberg says this. He says, I don't just do the things Jesus would have done. I find myself wanting to do them. They appeal to me. They make sense. I don't just go around trying to do the right things. I become the right sort of person. And this verse's goal for us is that we would be transformed to be like Jesus, that more and more we would reflect the Lord's glory. That all of us as Christians would see ourselves as mirrors of Jesus, so that when the world looks at us, it is our Savior that they see.